Hello, everyone, and welcome to our pretty special episode. Uh, if you don't know, a little movie dropped called Nope, and Nate and I have both seen it now, and we're gonna chat about it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just gonna give a little bit of our thoughts in a non-spoiler way, and later we will dive in to spoilers, and we will let you know. So if you're just here for the non-spoiler, you can leave. Then you don't
Yep.
have to now. But so Nate, tell me, because you just saw it,
I
like
just saw it.
really, yeah,
Like like for context, for those who don't know, I got out of the theater probably about 30 minutes ago. So, this is still fresh for me.
yeah. So let's hear what you have to say.
Ooh, boy. Okay. Um First of all, holy shit, Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
are you okay? Because this is might be, I believe, I think his scariest. If I'm
Really?
being perfectly honest. Yes, I think this is the most tense he's ever been able to make me while watching his movies. Because I got tense during most portions of Get Out. I
Hmm.
wasn't like Us is pretty good, but I was less tense then than I was in Get Out. But this
Yeah.
one, I there were moments where I was like genuinely frozen in the seat. Like I felt like I couldn't move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um Alec gave me a suggestion beforehand to sit in the center of the
Hmm.
theater, and I'm very glad he did. We'll get into that later,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
In the
there's a lot of,
most
ugh,
in the most non-spoiler way, if you're going into this movie, try and sit as close to the middle as you can.
yeah.
Um, I mean, that's just a general rule of thumb, but I think this is a really important one to try and make an effort to
There
do that.
there are moments where it feels
Oh,
designed for you to sit in the center.
yeah.
So,
It's really
um,
good. It's super
yeah.
well done.
Um, man,
It like for I'm trying to think how I'll put this in the most non-spoiler way. Um, it this feels like a very innovative new blockbuster. It's super well done, and I'm super happy Jordan Peele actually got the budget for this because oh my gosh, he really performs.
yeah. There are
Um,
moments in this where I'm like genuinely blown away at some of the stuff that he can pull off,
yeah,
because there are moments in here where um my disbelief was pretty goddamn suspended. I can tell you that for sure. Oh
yeah,
my god.
and I think something very much we should talk about is the fact that I think this was both of our fears that the trailer showed too much, but I don't think it did. There's twists and turns
Yeah.
throughout the movie that you never see coming.
I noted in the final trailer that they released, it felt like a tonal shift
Hmm.
from the first few trailers. Cuz for those who don't know, I love that first trailer that they put out. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, you.
That might be my favorite trailer so far this year, but there's something
Wow.
that came out before this movie that I will get to at the very end.
Yep.
But
Yep.
um that trailer was so good at setting the tone for what it was going for. It grabs my attention every time that I see it. And then the final trailer had that tonal shift where it took a little bit more of that silly side, kind of that like adventurous kind of like, oh, here's the plan, did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this really the big twist, I guess, still caught me off guard.
Oh yeah. There.
And
It's so good. We're gonna have to
like
make sure we talk about that later,
and
cause
there is a sequence that was not in the trailers, which I'm very glad was
oh
not.
my god, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, you probably do.
Oh.
Um, the other thing I want to point out is, uh, obviously everyone did a great performance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love Kaluuya. I've loved Kaluuya since he was in Black Mirror.
Hmm.
Um, I loved all his work, but I think the standout here is Kiki Palmer.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh
it's
my
been
god.
said by so many people at this point, but I think the point still remains very true. There's something about, I think it's a mix of her character and the performance she brings to that character,
Yeah.
because oh my god, like that was such a like engaging, fun performance while also having some really, really like kind of serious moments.
I mean, in the beginning, okay, I won't go too far into it. We'll get into it later. But she brings a lot of character to the person that she's playing while also able to maintain that level of seriousness that she
Yeah,
needs
yeah,
when the movie gets serious because it's a Jordan Peele movie. It's going to at some point.
e-
Um,
exactly.
and I feel like she did that perfectly. She
Yeah,
did it perfectly.
I I am going to call this so far in advance, but if she doesn't get a nom for Best Actress, like that is going to be a crime.
I think a nom should be in order. You'd hope.
Yeah,
You'd hope.
you
But given the Academy's
they're standing with horror
yeah,
movies to begin with.
yeah,
But
um
one thing I like is how it's typically Jordan Peele is seen as a horror director. But there's one thing I really like about this movie, and it's not just a horror movie. It leans into very Spielberg kind of things.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
it,
because it's science fiction.
it's very sci-fi, but you could tell he felt super kind of inspired by Spielberg's work. And one weird thing, someone said that they saw like traces of M. Night Shyamalan,
I don't
which
see that.
which is weird, but like the more I think about it, the more I kind of see that, like in a good way, not in a bad way. Um,
I mean, depending on what part of M Night Shyamalan you
yeah,
want, like you're
we
applying it to, I guess you could
yeah,
say that. But
but there's something about this. Like I will say, very very much without a doubt, is um, my favorite movie of the year. I I think
I sh-
every
go ahead.
level of this movie works really well. The cinematography is breathtaking. I am 100% diving more into this once we're done with the sort of non-spoiler stuff. But also, just the screenplay, I think, is great. I also take the very ambitious stance of just that, is this like what it was like when Jaws came out? Because I
I
think this
I
is going to reshape the sort of genre that
I have
blockbusters are seeing.
I have heard that a lot. There was a letterbox review that went up uh when it premiered, I think in LA,
Hmm.
that said this is um Jaws for like cloud spotters.
Exactly.
Like it's tense, and I really can't explain it any other way without going into detail just about how they build this up, and you just get more tense and tense and tense.
Yeah. And is is there anything left you want to sort of touch on in non-spoiler context without until we dive in, or do you think we're ready to really dive in to this?
Um,
Because I can't think of much else I want to really talk about in a non-spoiler context.
I will have to touch on the fact that there are definitely cinematography choices, which definitely have a bigger meaning,
Hmm.
but
Absolutely.
I will obviously touch on that later.
Yeah.
So other than that, I don't think I have anything left.
All right. So you've heard that,
So,
all you non-spoiler kiddies out there.
so
It's
if you
time.
haven't seen it, politely go away.
Yeah, yeah, fuck off.
Fuck
Um,
off. So you don't
un-
want to say it.
unless you want to spoil yourself and ruin yourself for a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
Um,
which I
but
wouldn't recommend you do.
I'm going to give you like 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
All
7, 8, 9, 10.
right.
Okay.
So now
Wow.
I the first thing I really want to touch on is I don't know when you brought up the cinematography stuff. I don't know if you're going to talk about the same thing I was, but those night scenes are so well shot.
See, and it's crazy because I know as a fact that shooting in nighttime sucks. It's hard to
Exactly.
do because the lighting is so difficult. It looks so good.
It
The
looks
lighting looks
beautiful.
so good.
I like that was probably the biggest thing that I was just in amazement with once I left the movie because it's crazy. It looks so one, it looks amazing. Two, it also there's something about it that just felt right and it really helped communicate what was going on in the movie.
Well, because I'd argue it's dark, which it's
Hmm.
supposed to be because it's nighttime, but it's not too dark. Because we all
Yeah.
know what it's like to go outside and like, because you, Alec and I live in generally rural areas,
Hmm.
so we know what it's like to be outside in that kind of area. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's really fucking dark.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a little bit of natural light that comes from like far in the distance, and they really got that down so well.
They they nailed it. I read that the cinematographer is the same one that Christopher Nolan uses a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's true. I'd need to look into it
Uh,
more,
I
but
mean, I can check right now.
yeah, because I think he worked on Interstellar, and if that's true, this does not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, he
Um,
did Interstellar, Dunkirk, and Tenet.
okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. He is he did something amazing with I don't know what kind of like pixie dust he threw at the cameras, but oh my god.
Well, because there are some shots in this movie that I was like, there's no
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And there's one specific shot towards the end of the movie where uh the guy who's like trying to capture all the footage of the alien and like he's out up on the hill, he's cranking the camera and the alien's like about to eat him up. There's something about like having the like marks of the camera. I don't know how to describe it,
Oh,
but
so like
like
it's in the camera's point of
yeah,
view.
yeah. There's
Uh,
something about that specific moment that looked so great. One, and two, it just made the movie feel so much more real to me.
Well, I feel like it was done very intentionally to
Oh,
fit with the
absolutely,
message because
absolutely.
oh man.
It there. I love how he did this. The messaging is crazy because it's not your typical Get Out or Us kind of messaging. It's
Yeah.
much more not out in the open. It's
I
pretty
It's pretty subtle, and I
yeah.
think it's a lot of it is also up for interpretation.
Yeah.
At least for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that cuz there's never really tight knit kind of boxes that he hands to you for
Well,
messaging.
I'd argue a lot of the characters in this fit archetypes then you can give a specific example to like
Hmm.
something explicit,
Yeah.
which if we want to get into that right now,
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
go for it.
cuz I wanted to touch on Ricky,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
Asian cowboy
Yep.
and his story cuz good god,
Dude,
man.
the thing is, when the movie opened, did
Yeah.
you expect that at all?
No.
That
Well,
was
cuz
the
it
craziest opening I think he could have done.
well, cuz for reference for anyone who hasn't seen it or has seen it and just wants a refresher. It opens with the logo and it's like sitcom audio in the background.
Hmm.
And then the moment that's all over, it hits you with like two like this point of view of this chimpanzee and the entire stage is just fucked.
Yeah.
There's like a dead body on the floor. There's one in like further from where the camera's point of view is, and it's just this chimpanzee sitting here, and it's like Is this the right movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Cause, oh my god, I like, I think I was like a little bit slouched in my chair. I saw that and I think I straightened right up. Cause I was like, Jesus,
Yeah,
man,
it's
already?
insane. And like he has blood all over him.
Yeah,
And and then you have in the background the shoe that's just standing up vertically.
like, oh,
I love that little piece of detail because it's also shown when he shows the
the secret
emerald
room.
in, yeah, the secret room.
Yeah,
And I it's so because you never really tie it together till it's sort of revealed that he was the actor.
yeah, and then the part I love about it the most is the lampshade turning
Oh my god,
towards
yeah.
where it's the outside facing, and then he looks at you, and then it just cuts,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, that's how
Oh,
you open that. That's your hook. That's your hook.
yeah.
Jordan Peele knows how to do a hook because he did it right there, and it worked so well.
And like I think that's going to be something divisive with this movie. I think some people aren't gonna like it because like there's things like that which are big in the movie that are going to require a lot of sort of afterthought.
Well, I mean, they literally take it midway through the movie
Yeah.
and they show you like that situation. Because I kid you not, it goes from like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have this, and then like midway, just says Gordy, and then
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
plays out, and it's like I saw that on the screen. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My heart started beating so fast. I like
I
clenched the sheet. I was frozen.
I
I
don't know
couldn't
about you.
move.
Did you get jump scared every time the balloons popped?
No, the
Because
first time the balloon popped, that got me. But
I
every time after,
I physically jumped each time the balloons popped.
well, I mean, fuck, dude. Well, cause it's I think it's the perspective that got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause the way it's presented is it's presented through the camera of a sitcom,
Mhm.
and then first balloon pops, screen goes
Oh
black,
my god.
shit gets fucked up, and then we're back to the point of view
Yeah,
of the
the
kid,
begin where we were in the beginning.
but it's a little bit before
Mhm.
where we were in the beginning. So you don't just see like the chimpanzee sitting there like fucking around. You see him killing people.
He's beating the shit out of people.
Yeah,
And eating
and
people.
eating. And
With
then
oh my god, that was oh.
oh man, that scene I I don't get a lot of fight or flight during horror movies
Uh-huh.
anymore. Cuz it's generally just saying, "Oh, jump scare. Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
scared for 2 seconds."
Yeah.
That triggered my fight or flight.
Dude,
I,
that
I
was
stand
oh.
there like Jesus. That is probably like aside from a certain scene in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That might be my scene of the year. It doesn't relate that much to the
Yeah.
movie, like
Yeah.
itself, like to the plot of it. But the way it's shot,
It's something about how it was done.
because for those who know, one of my favorite horror movies is 1997's Funny Games, and Alec knows exactly
Mhm.
what my favorite scene in that
Yep.
is,
Yep.
and it's a like 15-minute shot. It's one shot in the same place, and it's a dead kid lying on the floor and then his parents, and it just stays on the shot, and you just watch like these parents lose their mind, like break
Yeah.
down, try to get out of like the binds they're in, and that goes on for 15 minutes unmoving with the shot,
It
and
is
I love that.
intense.
And it's exactly how I felt about this one. It's so intense because you're not given any break in the
Yeah.
shot. It just continues to present it to you in this fixed format, so you can't look
Mhm.
away.
Yeah. And I also kind of like how they tie that scene in with the sort of messaging of kind of the cycle of monetizing trauma.
Yeah, because that was the archetype I felt for him.
Yeah, that
Was
because it opens up with he's like, yeah, people pay like 50,000 to
yeah,
have me retell my biggest trauma.
and then I don't remember the quote in the beginning is something along the lines of "I will beat you I will like something along the line, and then I will make it a spectacle,
Oh,
which
yep, yep.
really brings in line like
It's
this
just the
whole
movie.
point. Yeah, really, the whole point of like, you paid money to watch these people suffer. That's what you're gonna do.
I oh,
It
there's
it's very self-aware in that
mhm.
sense, even though it doesn't make it obvious.
Yeah, and I think one thing I really like as well, he Jordan Peele does has this level of self-awareness and he uses it to his advantage because you knew from the beginning he was baiting the whole kind of alien gimmick, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of which, the the kids who were aliens, terrifying
Oh
sequence.
my God. Because um when they show up, you see like him, like the silhouettes of them rising, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, because
Yeah.
you don't see them, you see the silhouettes of him. And then when he pulls out his phone and it's at like the corner and it
Oh.
slowly peers around the corner, the best thing I can
Yeah.
compare that to is the Parasite stair scene.
Yep. Yep.
Just that kind of like, Jesus Christ, I don't know, I don't want to know what these look like.
Yeah. And I really like how Jordan Peele, he knows people are kind of already are expecting it not to be aliens, but he kept going with it, and I think it was pretty believable
Well,
that
they
with
he
how he shot it.
well, because he foreshadowed it a lot
Yeah.
of the fact that, ooh, there's aliens, coming
Yeah.
through.
But that scene alone, and then eventually the sort of great reveal,
The reveal of
which is my favorite thing. I
that it's the creature.
Dude, I love that so much.
I like that sequence a lot because in every promotional media they show like the people looking up,
Yep.
and then like you see all these people getting sucked up, and then it goes inside,
Yeah.
and that sequence is terrifying.
Yeah, that cuz you and then they use it. You hear their screams every time the
Yeah.
aliens like flying over.
Like anytime the creature like flies over something after it's like taken somebody up, you hear them. Like it's not just like the normal like we made the Jaws comparison earlier, and
Mhm.
I don't remember a moment in Jaws where anyone like screamed that loud
Yeah.
or like got that upset. In this one, you know when they're getting like mutilated or
Oh
like
yeah.
murdered because you'll hear it.
Or you
Speaking,
see their blood proceed
oh
to
my
fall.
God, the scene where it all falls on the house
Dude, that was horrifying.
because the sound design of the way that it works. This
Mhm.
is meant to be like done in a movie theater, by the way, because the entire
Yeah.
theater is shaking while everything is falling down.
The thing that got me for it too is like I was already anticipating it was going to be blood just falling, but
Yeah,
it's the way they had him screaming still above and then just dead silence.
they had him screaming, "Chomp!" Silence, and then like it gives like a 20-second break, and then it all starts falling down.
Yeah. That's what really got me. Like it's shot so well like it's so good. Um
I didn't mention this earlier, and I wanted to
oh
touch
yeah.
on this
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but the sound design
Yep.
is really good.
Yep. It is so well done.
Again, if you sit in the middle, there are moments where it'll shoot between your left ear and your right ear. There are
Mhm.
moments where there's little small things, like the tapping, like the
Yeah.
that hit that like you only hear on your right side, which is
It's
like,
it's
wow.
so good. It's so good. Like like I've said multiple times, this movie I think is really damn near perfect in almost every level.
And yeah,
The sound design I think is perfect.
it's up there. It's one of the
Because
best sounding movies this year.
I remember there was one sequence where okay, so just for perspective, there was this lady next to me who was chomping really loudly on some popcorn.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, there was a crunch. I thought it was her. No, it was the movie.
Yeah.
And there was another moment where OJ's phone goes off. And I could have sworn it sounded like the person behind me like got a notification on their phone.
Yeah. It really felt in depth with how they're able to get the sound design
Yeah.
working. I mean, I'm blown away.
It was so good. Like they took their time. They really took their time on that. And
Yeah.
that's what I loved about it a lot. Um
Did you get the reference with
the Akira?
the Akira? I was gonna say that because I
Yeah.
saw it and my brain
Yeah.
was like Akira
Yeah.
because I saw that and I was like, huh. I did not
You
expect an
didn't
Akira
you see,
reference.
I really like that because I don't know if you know this, but originally the Akira live action that's now under the wing of Taika Waititi was offered to Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
and he turned it down because he wanted to do creative works.
Hmm.
And so I don't know, it just kind of felt really nice to see that. And it was really cool as well.
It was
Like it
cool.
was
It
it
was
was
cool.
super cool. Um
There's also the reference because they mention the horse in motion
mhm.
a lot, which is um the first ever motion picture
Yep,
in technicality. They mention that a lot,
they do. And
and
I
there's a part near the end where they definitely do play into that with
yeah,
the with trying to get a picture of the
the
creature.
creature. Yeah, and also I think it's really interesting how when they brought up, especially in one of the earlier scenes where they were on set with the horse,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting how every time it sort of got brought up, it got dismissed.
Yeah.
And they really sort of focus on that. And I think I need to watch it a second time to kind of dive more into that.
Well,
But
there's a lot of stuff that
yeah,
I feel
there's
like went over my head.
there's one theme I saw in it that I don't know if it was intentional, but it felt way too common for it not to be there for a reason. And that's the whole idea of don't pay attention to it and it's not there. Um, did you pick up on that
A little
a
bit.
little? Because
I also got. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So there's the obvious one, like don't look at the alien
Yeah.
and it won't attack you. But also, the scene almost right after it when they're staying, where they're not there, they're eating at this fast food place and they pull their back behind these kids beating up um, another kid.
Hmm.
And there's like, it's just those little things like that where I really appreciate it and really like it in the movie because I think there's a lot of sort of mini things Peele did with this that
I think,
are great.
man, yeah, he knocked it out of the park. I think the other major theme that I noticed a lot was how far one is willing to go for their craft.
Oh yeah.
Because I would just like to note every time there was like somebody who was the biggest three examples I can make are obviously the performance at the carnival,
Yep.
the TMZ reporter, and then the filmmaker. All three of them died in search of that like perfect
The Oprah shot.
opportunity.
The
Yeah,
Oprah shot, as they say.
and they all die in different ways too,
Yeah.
because the TMZ reporter realizes what's going on too late, and he's like obsessive about why aren't you taking your phone out? Why aren't you
Yeah.
getting the shot? And then he dies.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
Kind of the same thing with the performance of the carnival, but notably, the filmmaker chooses to sacrifice
yeah.
himself in order for the
Yeah.
perfect shot, like denoting we can't get the impossible, like we can't
Yeah.
do that. Why do we try to search for this? There's no point in doing it. and then he, even though he knows it won't matter, because all of his film is going to be destroyed,
Hmm.
he still goes for it either way.
It's uh, like especially that scene really got me because it's so, oh my god, because
I mean, he gives everything
he
up,
does.
and it's very symbolic in my sense about the how I guess I guess you can, now that I think about it, you can honestly put that in with the horse in motion too, about how film is fleeting,
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter if you're in it or not, or how big you are in a specific thing. Film is fleeting.
yeah, yeah, and I I I just really like how it sort of also talks about the sort of how your devotion to the craft
Is your downfall.
is going to just kill you.
Yeah.
And it's so intriguing. Um, I I feel like Peele kind of sprinkled a little bit of like himself in there, um, like with Burnout and all that.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I loved it. I loved it so
Man,
much.
and all I have to say is Gordy's the best actor in the
Oh
sequence.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Oh,
I all I have to say is, wow.
that the fucking fist bump Gordy does.
And then no, because you expect him to do the. I jumped when he got shot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me too.
I jumped hard when he got shot.
I did not expect that at all. But the the sort of that coming together for a fist bump, that that shot alone is so visually striking because
Yeah.
it's like the bloodied palm
Well,
meets
because
like
I think that that's honestly censored as well. Because I remember in the first trailer, there's a lot of blood that
there
comes like drips off his hand
there's
in the
actually,
original shot. So I think that was
yeah,
reshot or
there
at least censored.
there's actually a lot of stuff that wasn't in there. There's one shot from the trailer where I'm actually really intrigued where it came from because I can't figure it out. It's the shot with the like everyone's running away, and then there's this one white dude smiling, walking towards it. I It's in the
I don't.
trailer, and
Which one? The first one?
it's in the first trailer. And it's probably that's probably the shot that got me the most intrigued, but I saw none of that.
Yeah.
And it's not in a setting we knew. And that's
No.
what really intrigued me.
I'm gonna look
Um
at it right now.
yeah,
See if I can
yeah.
find it.
And there's there's a lot of kind of shots like that that weren't in the movie itself. Now, do I think that was a bad thing? No, because I if it's not there, it's not there for a reason.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm kind of curious where that part of the story goes. Um, cause they kind of focused on it a little more than some of the other shots in it. But it I think there's a lot of stuff that was really well done because in the trailer they literally have the one of the ending shots
Yeah.
and like no one saw that coming. And I also want to touch on the way they ended the movie with OJ on the horse in the fogs like rolling out.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite shot from the whole movie. It's one, it's super cool. Um, and then two, I just think it rounds out the entire like character arc really well.
Hmm.
Because they do the whole the eye thing with their fingers, and
Yeah.
it's so well done. Yeah, I did you end up finding that
I
shot I
didn't
was
even
talking
see
about?
it
Really?
in the trailer.
Yeah, because I'll have to look, and if I'm able to, I'll send it to you. But
Yeah.
it's so good. It was so intriguing. But another thing I want to sort of touch on, one of those little details I thought was super interesting. I don't know if it was intended or not. Um, was the fact Lucky ev- every single opportunity the creature had to suck him up,
Hmm.
he didn't. But Ghost like went straight to get sucked up by the alien. Um, is there context there? I don't know. I just think it's really interesting the fact that Lucky never got taken.
I think all of the horses that got taken, all of them had names that I feel like I don't remember off the top of my head all of them, but they all had names that I felt like fit in with that.
Hmm.
And then there's just Lucky.
Yeah,
Who's Lucky?
yeah. Because let's be real honest here. In the sequence where they're sucking up everyone from the ranch,
Hmm.
uh, Lucky should have gotten sucked up in that. Like
Well,
that.
well, I mean, it brings about the question: if you look at it and it sucks you up, you think the same would apply to animals outside of humans, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Which I think was the point.
yeah. Because they that's why they covered Lucky's eye up in my favorite sequence of the whole movie, which is the whole ranch with the inflatable guys,
Yeah.
which which I think we should actually dive into and talk about because I think that proves Jordan Peele's very, very good sense of building suspense. And he does it really well by using the inflatable men as like kind of where the creature is.
Hmm.
And it builds so much suspense and it makes a really tense and really great scene. I I don't know if you felt the same way on that, but I
I feel like when they got to that section, which happens to every like creature horror movie where they're like, "Oh, we know a little bit of its power now." So,
mhm.
but he does do a great job of using the inflatables to kind of give information about where it is
Yeah.
or where it's going. I do have to say though, I think I honestly did get a little bit of a kick out of the TMZ reporter just being
Oh yeah.
absolutely launched from
Yeah.
his bike.
That you see I I think that might have been intentional. Because the way it was shot, that was way too funny.
Because I mean, you just see him,
Just fly.
yoink. Yeah, he's gone.
But I think that really speaks. I think this is Peele's best when it comes to having a sort of comedy in the movie.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm gonna be honest, there's parts in Get Out where I thought the comedy felt kind of weird. Us is just there's moments where the comedy just flops for me,
yeah.
but this one, I all the jokes landed super well for me.
Because I mean, I think the they really try to play up what's his name from the electronic
Oh
store
yeah, yeah,
as like a little bit of a comedic relief,
yeah.
and
He
then he actually has a major role in the
yeah.
story other than just comedic relief.
And can we talk about how he was so damn smart in the whole when the alien came back around and was trying to suck him up?
Yeah.
That was such a great moment to kind of show, yeah, these characters aren't idiots.
Yeah, because
Um,
you have the modern horror movie trope of the guy's stupid.
yeah,
He's obviously gonna get sucked up, but no, he doesn't.
yeah. It just felt so well done, and with how it kind of subverted a lot of sort of tropes. Um, and don't even get me started on how this new take on an alien is going to complete have the possibility to completely shift a genre into having way more
Well, but the
takes.
initial design of it is pretty simplistic, and
Yeah,
it subverts the whole it's a UFO thing.
yeah.
When it technically, yeah, it technically is a UFO. They do mention
Hmm.
like sometime how they like they renamed it because they didn't know like what to do. I didn't even realize it was foreshadowing until
Yeah,
like the movie was over.
it. I love how they did that. Cause what was it then? U something P, right?
UAP, I'm pretty sure.
UAP. It's I thought it was so interesting, and I I don't know. There's something about it, but I also kind of love how it was a very Lovecraftian kind of creature,
Yeah, dude,
which I love.
that design when near the end of the movie is absolutely
Oh
gorgeous.
my gosh, yes, it's stunning. Like, oh, that entire the way. I don't know if it was like its mouth or what, but where it was like flashing different shades of like green,
Yeah.
just it looked so good.
Like it feels like like a biblically accurate kind of creature. Like
Hmm.
it's beyond all um human sense in the design because I can't make out like anything on it other than hole which it eats from.
It's so well done. Like, cause you can't describe it really.
Yeah.
It's it's just there, and I think that's one of the most terrifying things. Something you can't explain,
Yeah.
and Peele really channels that sort of idea.
Oh yeah.
And like to begin with, I love Lovecraftian like inspired creatures. I think they're awesome, but there's something about this one that really got me going because especially when it was like OJ and M were fighting back and forth who the creature was going after,
Yeah.
how the sort of mouth swaps back and forth,
Mhm.
like that, just things like that I loved and thought was amazing.
Yeah.
But there, like, there's so much in this movie
Yeah.
that, like, I need to rewatch it a second time. I think,
Mhm.
in order to really understand it,
Yeah, it's
because
whew.
there's a lot to unpack. But I love it.
It's a movie, man.
I
Jeez.
I love it
I
so
can't
much.
describe it.
I'm curious, where would you kind of rank it in movies this year?
This year,
Because you know what I
I'm
say, but
I'm between putting it second or third because I
okay,
have Batman in second
okay.
for reference.
That
Um, I'll have to think about if it's better than Batman or not.
that's fair. Yeah, because this movie, without question, is my favorite of the year so far.
Yeah.
I It is everything I want from a blockbuster. I think it's going. I really hope, and I mean this like from the bottom of my heart. I hope this inspires blockbusters to be more than just hodgepodges of action.
Well, because I mean, we've had two really good blockbusters this
Hmm.
summer with Top Gun Maverick in this.
Yeah,
So
and
there's definitely potential in the
it's
future to build off of that.
it's weird because I'd say they're two great blockbusters, but for very different reasons.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool to kind of see because let's be real, the past few years when it comes to blockbusters, it's pretty like
Well,
formulaic.
I mean, when we have to rely on Netflix to put out the
Yeah,
blockbusters of the
yeah,
summer, we kind of lost that
yeah,
year.
yeah, and even now we have The Gray Man coming out,
Which
which
is
came out.
actually out right now.
Yeah,
It came out
yeah,
on Netflix
it
today,
came out
so
today. Which I have opinions, but that is not
it
for
hasn't
this
been
episode.
it hasn't been received perfectly.
Yeah, that is not for this episode, cause
Yeah.
but How would you say it's Peele's best, or would you say Get Out or Us is better than Nope?
I think that's up for interpretation. I probably would say these are interchangeable for his best
Okay.
because I feel like they're both very good, but for very different reasons.
Mhm. I can get that. I I am going. I I think it's pretty obvious. I think this is his best, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
but like I I definitely see them being interchangeable. I this is a movie I think is going to be very divisive. I think some people love it, some are going to like despise it.
Well, I think those that have like that are very cult following towards Get Out might not be on board with
Yeah.
this. At least part of the second, like the third act. They might
Okay, yeah.
not be on
Yeah.
board with that, but they should like the movie. Otherwise,
Yeah. I cuz I think this is one of those movies where Peele doesn't he channels the social messages that are very common in his films in a very different way.
because I felt like I like in this one you already mentioned that it's much more subtle,
Hmm.
but it is really much more subtle compared to Get Out.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
Get Out is unafraid. It's on the nose. It tells you it flat out.
yeah,
This one, you need to think about it a little bit.
yeah.
Let it sit.
Gotta let it simmer on the back burner for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And even when it comes to Us, I think Us is a little more overt compared to Nope.
Yeah.
Um, like this, I think is his because I will admit he does focus on the spectacle, um, like a lot more. And I can see an argument for it downplays the story at points for the spectacle.
Yeah.
But I just really liked because it has a phenomenal spectacle. It is great. Um, but I think it's also really cool to see he kind of was able to flesh out a lot of these characters and really give them a personality, which some other movies do not do that
Don't
well.
even try to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it there. I could talk about this movie for hours. I think
Yeah. It's very good.
it's
Like very
it's
good.
great. It is so great, and I hope everyone listening, at least one way or another, like this movie. Cause
Are we wrapping it up
is there
on
anything else you kind of got?
I wanted to touch on a certain teaser that played right before it.
Oh, yeah. We'll
Oh
talk about
my.
that. The
Okay. So one of the movies I've been looking forward to the most, and it's the two movies I've been looking forward to the most for 2023. And I know it's totally like the meme thing to say this, but I
Mhm.
genuinely am looking forward to both of these movies. Is Barbie and Oppenheimer,
Yep, the
because
great battle.
they both of them are look very good for very different reasons.
Yep, yep. And there is a teaser that plays in front of Nope,
There is a teaser that plays in front
and
of for Oppenheimer.
it is in oh, there's
It's the
something
first
about it.
look. It's the first look that we have of it, I believe, at all.
Yeah, because we've only really like I think we might have had a still, and that was it.
Yeah.
And now of course we have
But
the poster.
with the kind of visual style this has,
It,
jeez.
it it looks so good, and the
There,
cast is so stacked.
I was caught off guard by the countdown that it did.
Oh
Of
yeah,
like
yeah.
it went so specific to like day, it went weeks, days, minutes, and then
Hmm.
seconds, and I'm like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, and I there's even though it's like this small shot of um oh what's the actor's name? The guy who's playing Oppenheimer.
Um,
Uh,
Cillian Murphy?
yeah, Cillian Murphy. It's a just a shot of him really looking into the camera. It's black and white. There's something about it that is so visually striking to me. it's so simple yet I love it. And I'm super excited to see the trailer drop because oh my
Well, I
god.
want it to drop on YouTube because there's obviously
Oh
like
yeah.
cam recordings
Yeah.
of it, but I want the thing to drop on YouTube because I want to
Yeah.
I want to watch it again.
It, it's
It's that good.
it's gotta drop
It's
soon, I
that
think. I
good.
don't see why it wouldn't. But oh,
Oh
it's
man,
great. It's gonna be it's a year from now. It's going to be the Oppenheimer versus Barbie war.
watch both the same day.
Yep, yep. And that's what I'm gonna do as well.
Damn straight.
But it I'm excited to see how that plays out. And
Mm.
I think it's cool they played it in front of Nope. I think
Well,
that's awesome.
how did they do it at your theater like they did at mine? They lowered the house lights for
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
because
cuz they have it in the package for the movie
for the
Nope,
movie. Well,
which
because I believe how it is it's quite literally it's packaged so that it's the teaser and then the movie. It's
yeah,
both in
yeah,
the same file.
because the way my movie theater played it, because I knew the teaser would be playing in front of it, and I was super excited to see the teaser.
Yeah.
So each of the trailers are playing, and I'm like, oh my god, is this the teaser? Nope, it's for Barbarian. Is this it? Nope, it's for the Idris Elba Lion movie. And then like next thing you know, they do the be quiet, don't talk in text, and I'm like, shoot, are they not playing it for Thursday night showings?
And that's how they got you.
And then they played it, and I'm like, oh my god, oh,
Because it's
it
very
was great.
good. Well, because the only trailer they played before, I played two trailers. Oh fuck, what's the first one? Forgot the first one. They did play your Texas movie as the
Oh,
second one though.
Vengeance,
Yeah.
yeah,
What was the first one they played?
Barbarian.
I've
Is it
seen
for
it before.
Barbarian?
I don't think so.
That's a horror movie I'm looking forward to.
It wasn't a horror movie.
Oh, really?
I see. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But there, Nope got me excited not just for the movie, but for another movie that has a year to.
Yeah, that hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah,
It won't come out. That
so
won't come out for a year.
so if that speaks on the success of Nope,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's crazy.
It's great,
Yep.
but yeah, I think that's everything we have to touch on, right?
Yeah, that should be it for me.
Yeah. So thank you all yet again for listening
Hmm.
to us really just kind of ramble for about 50 minutes. So
Yeah.
applause to you for doing that.
Oh
And
yeah.
thank you all very much for listening and have a great evening, day, night whenever you're listening. And yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.